Hey y'all. Testing, testing, one, two, three. Let me delete this. Hey y'all. We're gonna get into this live. It never just cues automatically. I'm going live, Nubia. Go ahead. I said I was live and you asked me while I was working. Right, that's a strong key. And then sorry, URL. Hello, hello, knock knock. Anyone there? Just give me one moment, please, y'all. I currently have my hair in one of my protective stylists. Just test out the chat for me. Let me know you can hear me. Uh, I don't know. Okay, let me go ahead and check on. I don't think I'm live on Instagram yet. Okay. It's such a laborious process. Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? No, you can't. Shoot. I should be going live now. 1 second. I connected it. And save changes. And then let's go live. Um, Hello, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Summertime. We are going to go over summertime tips for healthy microlocs. And we are about to go live with the group. I did the post. Go live. Hold on, y'all. Time tips. Okay. Hello, good evening, New Creates. Sound and image right on Insta. Great. Hello, Electrolocs. Hi, everyone. Hello. Happy, well, happy Monday. We are going to get into some summertime tips. And I currently have in one of my go-tos, actually all year round, but especially for summertime. I do this particular thing. Hey, bonjour, son. Bonjour, treasure locks and tips. How are you doing in the hurricane? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. Sending a lot of good vibes and energy out to Texas and whoever else is affected by Hurricane Beryl, if that's how you say it. Bonjour, son. Yes. So I'll make myself a little bigger so y'all can see what I got going on. And it is looking a little bit like a hot mess, but I don't want to say a hot mess. It's just what it is. I got my hair all twisted up in one of my go-tos. We will go over some of these tips that will enhance lock strength and prevent damage. I am Jessica. Some of y'all may or may not know my hair is over 16 and a half years, made 16 and a half years in June. So I started January 2008. And there's certain things that I've found for me and my clients to be beneficial in maintaining our hairs and our locks integrity throughout seasons, throughout different things, despite what's going on with us medically, personally, mentally. So I'm going to get into some of these helpful tips, I think, and you can also share what may be helpful for you because everyone is different. Hi, Janice. You're currently working on your mannequin. Yes, Janice is in our Microlocs Mastery Training and Certification Program. We now have hundreds of people worldwide enrolled in our program, certifying hundreds. We actually have thousands in our smaller offerings. So I am glad when you guys show up and you're working on your things. Your locks are styled the same way today. Okay, good. And it's lopsided, but I'm gonna take them down for y'all. I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of what my routine is, and I have them pretty small. My hair is affected by my hormones. I've had postpartum alopecia. I've had a lot of things. Look at this. So they ready. These pipe cleaners ready to jump out my head. So we're gonna take them down. And I went swimming, and I don't do pools, but I went swimming with my daughter and she had some friends in a public pool, which I never do, and was so full of chlorine on my skin. It's actually still peeling from it. And I was like, I got to get right into my routine and make sure that this is not going to over dry because we're on a smaller scale of locks and it's a little more susceptible. I'll say it can be, you have to be more focused on keeping this straight. Let's put it that way. All right. So I have a little slideshow for y'all. And what should I, you know what? I wonder if I should start taking these out. I'll start taking out the back as we talk, and then I'm going to show y'all the finishing touches when we get to that slide. All right. And let me check in with the Facebook group. I think y'all are good to go. Let's drop a comment. Is it wrong? Let me see. Hey Tony, you were just thinking about how dry you thought your hair was this morning. Exactly. Uh-oh. Hey Queenie, hey Cindy, hey Katina, hi Diane, hi y'all over in the Facebook group. You're on 5 days locked. 5 days locked. Like you just started 5 days ago. Noob Creates on Instagram. Oh, that is so cool. Welcome. Congratulations, Janice. Yes, we're rooting for you. All right. So, you know, that's summertime, especially when you live in a temperate climate and you're in the US. I'm in the New York City area, and it often is very humid. So, it's increased humidity, increased sweating. Some of us are scalp sweaters like me, constantly sweating. Um, Increased water usage so what that means is you might be swimming more, um, sprinklers, whatever it is that you choose to do. And you also might be doing more washing of your hair because of that. And ultimately, what that is leading to for a lot of people can be increased dryness. So, although there's increased humidity at times, I don't know where you live in the world, but I'm in the New York City area, and we get very humid and muggy, and so we don't often have just a dry heat like maybe some other places. So one of the things I do want to say about the increased humidity, depending on the stage you're in. So if you're in that earlier stage, like the person commented on Instagram, I think you said 5 days, you are going to need to be careful about excessive humidity and how it may, making sure your hair is going to maintain being locked. So I'm not saying that it's going to undo it, but what I mean is, so your hair is responding to humidity and it's curling into the pattern. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to help increase its locking as it's curling. So I'll tell you more a little bit about that when we get to that. You need to figure out how to keep your curly ends. What do you mean by keeping your curly ends? Do you want your hair to be maintained with the interwoven lock method? Do you have micro-sized locks? Are they going to be consistent in size for that method? Or do you have bigger locks that you could do with traditional palm rolling where the curly ends may not be as problematic? All right. And do you want locks or do you want curly hair? Because we can get you curly looks. But if you want to, and so there's a lot of factors. Some things just don't go well together in this realm if you're doing a certain maintenance technique. And although it may look nice coming out of the chair and it may look nice for a moment, in order to do the method that most people are using to maintain, it can become a hindrance and it can actually sometimes rip your hair out if it's too fat to go through that base. So when you say curling ends, please, think it through about, I don't know what, you can explain it if you like as well, but it's not something that excessive curly ends is something that's usually conducive to the primary methods of install maintenance. All right. So because of that, right, increased dryness. So my hair has been in these pipe cleaners for some days now. And it can feel pretty dry. I can be out in the heat. It's just pretty dry. So what I do is while it is wet, I will seal in the moisture. And when I take them down, I will nourish my scalp and um, kind of just run it through. We're not dousing our hair with oil. We are nourishing the scalp so that we can produce and stimulate our own natural hair oils. And our hair responds, our skin responds to our environment. So if you live in a, yes, thank you, son. SON. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Um, Hold on, y'all. I was looking. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna periodically go in between the platforms, but I'm staying primarily where I can see YouTube. Nice curl. Right. So this is after. All right. Let's get through the slides. But this is after it's been washed and set. So some key areas that you're gonna need to focus obviously in the summertime or when it's very hot and warm. Hair and scalp cleanliness because you are sweating, you are attracting more to you're secreting oil and sweat, which then attracts more dirt and environmental debris. Lock tension, depending on the stage of locking that you are in. I want people to think about that when they're thinking about things that they're doing to in their routine and maintenance. We'll go into that a little bit more in a moment. Moisture retention, again, for those really dry, hot days when it's just your hair might feel a little drier because you're also washing more of your natural oils out of your scalp. So you want to retain, you don't want to have excessively dry hair either due to the increased washing and your lock strength overall. Okay. I'll tell you some stories about what I've noticed people do that we've had to correct, and it's just a minor tweak. Right? Y'all hit the like, hit the like. Okay. All right. So when it comes to styling, protective, easy styling like sets, braid outs, etc., work well after washing to smooth and seal. Well, my pipe cleaner just disintegrated, but this is an example of what I'm doing right now. So avoiding over manipulation will be good. So what I tend to do is after I set it, I'm not messing with it so much. I'm not every day pulling and tugging on it because if it's a lot of humidity and your newly formed locks, you will see increased bunching. You will see possibly increased hair loosening out of the pattern because your humidity is keeping dampness in your hair. It's activating your curl, but you want to make sure that you're not interrupting the process. So I'm just going in with my oil. And this is one of my favorite kind of styles to do after I swam. Chlorine was all in the water. My hair was getting dry. I washed it. But what you don't want to do is treat your hair like it is loose natural. So here's also a video as to show you a little bit of what I have going on. It's the same thing that I have going on. These are just with perm rods I used in that video that you see. And I could leave it like that if I wanted to and just kind of have it together. But I don't do a whole lot of updos and braids and pins because you're trapping in sweat. I like my hair and scalp to breathe freely. I like to not be manipulating and poking through, scratching up the scalp. Y'all got some. Thank you. You're on your way on YouTube now, 5 days. Oh, you're on you. Oh, you were just on Instagram. Hey. And thank you so much, Butterfly Beauty. I appreciate it. And you just started yours too. So a lot of these tips I think are really, really more crucial for those beginning stages. I started my hair in January. By the time it was summertime in 2008, my hair was 6 months. And I even noticed then how the humidity was affecting. And I have 4C hair. I was noticing that if it was over humid and it's just kind of always wet, it wasn't I needed to not manipulate it because that's when it felt more vulnerable. The pattern was still, you still could see the spaces in between the pattern, and it wasn't fully locked. So it became easier to lock when the air became drier and cooler. Humidity. So it's sometimes challenging to start your hair. Okay, so I'm taking all the time if I clear this out. It's one of my favorite. Again, you could do a braid out. You can do bantu knots. You can do whatever it is. After you wet it, I think it is a good idea to seal it in with something like an oil base. Be careful of these lotion. Don't do setting lotions. Don't do a lot of heavy products that are going to coat your strands and keep your hair from locking. Oil on the scalp, a little bit of oil per the direction of your loctician if they're skilled, or a credible educated stylist is who you should consult with for your own individual time frames. But for me, hold on, wait, I can't. This is the mirror image. Um, Thank you. So the longer you keep them in, also the tighter they are. So you saw that protector style, right? I did pipe cleaners. I wrapped it around. I looped it into itself, and I wore that, which was so nice to not have to worry about my hair. Now I cleaned all weekend. It was 90 degrees, a heat wave here in New York, and so it was nice to have that style in as um, after I washed and cleansed the chlorine out of my hair and put a little oil on the scalp to kind of seal in the moisture and then wrapped it. It just kind of nourished everything. It kept things together. I love this style as also an in between when you do have new growth and you do need to get it done, because hopefully we're just leaving it. You leave it out and you don't have to do too much, but you could do a light whatever you're gonna do to style it. Let me go back to the yeah. So those on IG. If y'all want, y'all can hop over to YouTube or you can hop over to the Facebook group, which is Free Microloc Train. But I'm gonna give y'all some links if you stay on here on how you can join later. Okay. Just because I'm going in between. I see y'all. Hello, hello. Um, okay, let's go back. All right, so let's get back to the slideshow. I just stick with what I like. So my lane is curls, spirals, waves. That my lane is not pin up, too much pins up, too much braided up, too much twisted up. I don't necessarily like A lot of over manipulation, especially when it's hot, because I'm a scalp sweater. Are y'all scalp sweaters? Do y'all sweat profusely sometimes, like just from like the slightest things if it's very humid? Let me know in the comments. All right. So now that we saw that, hi, Cindy. I'm someone who sweats in my head, so I have to wash my hair often. Yes. Humidity had you cut your original locks off. Tell me why, how humidity affected your original locks. I love when people can add some backup to what I'm saying, what I've been experiencing and seeing the hundreds of clients I serve, because I like when you give me you do too, Tony, because it adds real life to what I'm saying. Routine. All right, let's talk about your. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I'm like a woman with all these controls. I'm like, here, bam, button there, whatever. So your routine is a good routine will replenish and strengthen. It will nourish the scalp and it will seal in moisture as needed. Remember, locked hair does need to have the strands not coated all the time. So that's why humidity can be tricky. Excessive humidity. The strands do need to have some dryness. They do need to mat together, and especially because you're created a pattern. And if you've used the ideal methods we go over, then your pattern should lock nice, tight, and cylindrically, and it should be always locking, progressively locking, sometimes at different rates throughout the hair. But you want it's going to feel a little drier. It's going to go through a process, and as you go year from year to year, it's going to go through different stages. Um, so you want to make sure that you are giving it what it needs, but also not freaking out because it's not what it would be loose natural. I find it the hardest thing, including myself, for people to do is switch their brain from loose natural hair care and maintenance over into the lock, over into this lock realm, because this lock realm is even different from traditional locks. Right? We're maintaining it different. We need it to have a certain strength because of the size. We need to have routines that are going to do the things that we needed to do, like be conditioned, like be strengthened, like be pH balanced, etc., without compromising the foundation we're laying for it to lock. So, um, my motto usually is less is more, but let's get into some examples. Like I was just showing y'all, this is a natural oil I make, natural beautiful hair care. We sell it. It's designed to stimulate the hair and scalp. I designed it to work well with these type of locks, with micro locks, done in the methods and patterns the foundation that we create, so that you can stimulate growth, but not interrupt the locking process. Your scalp sweats too. You also use this for hot oil treatments. I would say stick to more natural based ones that can be easily absorbed. So olive oil typically is too big molecules to be absorbed. Jojoba is like really thin. But you can find one that works for you that you're not allergic to and blend it with what you need to, or you can just purchase it, whatever you like. And that is really, seriously, all. Water, I set my hair with water. You don't need to get fancy. And then a lot of it is still detoxing our brains from needing to use external things to help do, like, we really literally need to allow our hair to curl in and lock, but also give it what it needs because it's hair. So there's a balance between, you don't want to neglect it, but you want to nourish it and then allow it to lock in the healthiest that it can be for the style you desire. All right, because what we find is if you're doing too much, you're going to find a lot of product buildup. You're going to find a lot of inconsistency, bumps, and swelling. Sometimes I've seen it embed so bad in locks, like there would just be white. It would just be attracting limp. Hair would be hard to lock in certain areas. And someone was like, just commenting, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to pick on you, but with the loose, I've talked about it to so much about the loose ends. And I'm asked people, what do you mean? Like, how much loose ends are you talking? Curly ends, what do you mean? Because I'm thinking of structures of locks. I'm thinking of all the beautiful variety of styling you could do after. And if you're teetering a lot, too much on the fence of loose and locked, and you're trying to maintain it on a small scale with a grid and a tool and ripping it and pulling, it becomes like you kind of have to make a decision and know that it'll be beautiful, whatever decision you make. Maybe it's not exactly the size you want because you want to, if you want to keep traditional locks are different. And so, and they also can use different types of products. With I've seen, I think I told you a story about clients that put product in their hair, and we were doing repair every session for years until we finally said, "What are we crazy? Because why are we doing the same repairs? Why is her hair still open and why is it still spongy? Why is it?" And because of that, she wasn't seeing hair length maintained because her ends were too loose. So she wasn't seeing her hair growing. It was the same length for 4 years. Because what was happening was that it was coming out and breaking off because the routine is not what you need to maintain loose curly hair. You need a lot, a lot of conditioning and treatments. The shaft is different, along the hair, um, smoothing it out so it's harder to lock because you're putting so much stuff on it. And so she was going through shedding of her ends as opposed to it locking in and maintaining hair growth. We were repairing and repairing. So, you know, ultimately, if it's done really well, you can achieve the looks that you desire. Okay. Oh, okay, Trina, the website to order. Um, naturallybeautifulhaircare.com. I'll put it up. We also have it on, I believe it's also on microlockmastery.com. And then we have a Shopify. We have like a million places. Oh, did Treasure? Okay, you say your locks are extremely thirsty. Is very arid here, right? I would recommend you do hot oil treatments once in a while. That's what I saw. It sounds like you would do more of a winter routine, and I do steam treatments where you're obviously opening up and putting the steam is helping with the moisture, and then I would do. Um, I've done hot oil treatments. We do different types of treatments um, that end up balancing out and softening. I like tea rinses with a certain type of tea because it's also pH balancing. It depends on your water, it depends on a couple of factors. So there's things that you can do naturally to help condition your hair to give it what it needs without slopping on product. Um, so I don't know how if I could write it real quick. Naturallybeautifulhaircare.com. If someone must make it a comment, I could just post it up real quick. But I'll also put it in the I'll put it in the description when I'm done. So let's get in. Oh yeah. So how you're going to approach treatments and conditioning is different than you would loose, natural, even larger locks. I'm not. I'm trying not to harp on like I I know for a fact that there's certain things that may make absolute sense in the loose lock realm, for hair, for loose hair, that would be counterproductive if we did it the exact same way for what we're doing for our small locks. So again, approaching conditioning different doesn't mean that you don't condition. It means you have to approach it differently. When people even get color, the normal process when you don't have locks is to do, a whole process. It's a whole conditioning process. It needs to be revised a bit. If you, especially if someone, depending on the stage of micro locks, small interwoven locks that they have. So that's why I always say the foundation needs to be strong, and then the person needs to be skilled to know how to handle it. So that, because what someone can end up doing, and it has happened, where they were in a certain stage, they went to get their hair done professionally, colored, and the treatment that was needed to preserve, to keep the structure of the hair after that coloring process, undid all their locks, and it made it harder to lock. It texturized out her hair, and it didn't hold the locks. So there's certain things either you do differently or you delay until it's at a certain stage or point. Okay, I see your comments. Okay, so you're saying your 4C hair is dense and humidity had the new growth thinning and bunching at the same time. Yes, thinning and bunching. Your curl, your curl was activated from the humidity, and it was coming. It wasn't solid. It wasn't locked in tight with the tension that we talk about. Hmm. I can understand that. And then Tony says, I've been doing these last few days. I've been dying these last few days, and I didn't want to keep washing it every day. So I've been oiling my scalp and pulling a little through my hair with a little water. What you just said, not not even by knowledge, must have learned that from you. So you've been oiling your scalp, putting a little through your hair. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. With a little water. Because now you got something that the oil is sealed by. I mean that the water is sealed by. Yep. Tony, and you have a softer hair texture, but your hair is more progressively locked. We wouldn't have done that same routine with you in your first year. But now that your hair has been locked, but over a decade now, you have your hair has progressed through multiple stages. So this is all going to change as we go through. Yep. So maintenance. Oh y'all, I'm talking out loud. Let's get into what are some of y'all maintenance routines have you had to change? I'm worried about shampoos and conditioners. I use Dove. Is that okay? I haven't had any first wash. Use Dove shampoo. I think doesn't Dove have conditioning agents in the shampoo as well? I'm not sure. I think Dove might be a little too conditioning for new locks, even older locks. Let me tell you, I used to play around and slap some conditioner in my hair, and it puffed out. It puffed out because my hair was well, curls were being coated, and it made it. And that's when it can go back in. It can you got to get you back on your routine, and make sure you don't continue to do that. But you will notice if you do a regular conditioning routine, the locks of your hair is going to probably swell out because now you just coated whatever hair, especially at the ends. Um, Again, my advice is for those who like even consistent all the way root to tip. So I understand maybe my advice is not for everyone, but I'm thinking of getting your hair on a tool, getting your end through the root, keeping it nice. If you're very meticulous and you like um, all the things that are going to increase the strength and appearance and consistency and refinement, then that's where my tips are going to come into play. But maybe a little bit of swelling doesn't bother people at the end, but I think if it overswells, if it unloosens, it can be a problem. And I maybe can find that picture that I love to show y'all about the repair job from someone that had excessive swelling that was not addressed, and she came for repair, and it basically cost more than her install. It took 3 times as long. So when it comes to maintenance, y'all got some comments, okay? Um, I'll get to your comment in 1 second. Similar to your routines, your maintenance will be your regular upkeep of your locks structurally. So, what tools you use, how often, what you add to or remove from the process during the unique needs of summer is your maintenance routine. Routine and maintenance are pretty similar, but your maintenance might change. You might have to change your frequency that you get your hair done because it's going to grow faster usually in the summer and spring. You have higher doses of vitamin D. Or when it may not, it could be people's hair can grow faster during certain times for other reasons, but it typically tends to grow faster for many people in the spring and in the summer. You also, again, you have the sweating, you have all the things that you might be doing. That's what the commenter from the group was mentioning about the humidity thinning and bunching at your roots. So you're noticing that it is not matting and locking like it would in a colder, drier climate. Is so you might have to change up what you do. All right. I see the comment here. I'm worried about shampoo. Oh yeah, we know over that already. My swim classes start next week. I got a soul cap. Oh, that sounds nice. Any suggestion? I think I know what Cappy's talking about. Nice. A swim cap is a good suggestion. I never tried that one. I actually need to buy a good swim cap, so maybe I'll try that out. If anybody has swim cap recommendations, additionally, I've seen some, and I was like, I need to get um, so I didn't have a good swim cap on when I went swim. I typically don't wear. I don't wear swim caps, and I swim in the ocean usually. But the pool, so there's a difference even between a pool and the ocean. It's chlorine, and they dump with chlorine in there because y'all know, and it's a public pool with children, and it's just a pee pool. Like that's why I don't like pools. I feel like it's a big toilet. And then the beach has the salt in it, which actually salt water is, I feel, for most people can be very beneficial to the lock-in process. I mean, you have to rinse the salt out. Has dirt and everything in it, but it does. It can enhance and accelerate hair locking. Typically, there's actual sea salt sprays and things like that. So usually it's less problematic for me to go swimming in the beach. And it's also not chemicals. So I don't wear a cap. But for if you take a swim class and you're in a chlorine pool, definitely would suggest a cap. And if you have a soul cap, you let me know how you like it. I think I just think as long as it's big enough to cover put all your hair in, and you feel like it seals out a lot of water. Someone gave me a tip to like put a little water around the edge and then put the cap, and it's supposed to like make a suction that kind of keeps water out. I haven't tried it yet. You said yes, you want yours even. When I was talking about who my advice is for, um, very meticulous. It would bother me. And again, I'm not talking about perfect because my hair is not perfect. No one's is perfect. I just I just think a certain quality, especially for the type of investment that we make for this type of hair. For some people I'm speaking to because this is what they invested in. They might have invested in keeping it a certain appearance, and then also ease of maintenance and things like that. So you're welcome, Butterfly Beauty. Yes, pools. Yeah. Um, I'll hop around real quick. Meticulous. Your second name, Electrolocks. Yes, Electrolocks also is Microloc Mastery certified on Instagram. I'm not lying. The Meticulous, you submitted one of the best quality work we've seen in a long time. If you're on Instagram and you see Electrolocks comment in there, she's in France. Um, I can't rave enough about you. Okay, we were all like, our jaws dropped. You did such a good job. That's the quality. So if anybody is in France or gonna just travel through France, please check her out, because she will do a meticulous job. It reminded me exactly of what I was expected to do in my training. And yeah, yeah, it was okay. Go back to what we were saying. Wait, I'm sorry to put you on spot like that. Yeah, no, I'm not. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't even waste my breath to say it if it wasn't true. I think that the type of those who like quality and strength and longevity, are going to appreciate the level of quality work that you're doing. So, we can say in conclusion, I just put up here we have my book, the microlockstandards.com, or it's on amazon.com as well. I thank everyone for who's purchased it and gave reviews. We have some information in the book. I have some information in the book about the standards and why they exist. Because if you want something long term that's going to take you through um life and like things we never can think of, I'm telling you, our hair can be very impacted from our mental state, from our medical state. And if the foundations aren't, um or the maintenance or anywhere along the way isn't strong enough, you will probably see lock loss or bunching or problems or combining. Or so we want to give you the strongest foundation possible so that you have a lot of room forever, and no one will ever know. You might have like I had 3 locks come out here from COVID, and I just took the bases, created new locks. Like it took 13 years to have a lock come out, and I was very appreciative of the foundation. And I want other people to have that same kind of strength, because our small locks definitely can go through it. if it's not. You can't swim in the ocean here. Yuck. Ironically, folks stay clear of pools and rock lace front. Where are you? Oh, you mean in the United States? I understand. Listen, I had to make peace with it. I swim. I'm in New Jersey, so I do the shore. But you don't have to submerge your hair, but um, you will sweat. It will get wet. You might get the splashes on you. So you want to make sure that if you don't want your hair to be soaking wet, you will cover it up, or you'll treat it accordingly afterwards. So I never ever leave the salt or chlorine in my hair. Immediately, as soon as I get home, I'm taking a clarifying wash and I'm washing in my hair. Y'all, I don't use conditioner. The couple of times I was hard headed in the 16 years, I noticed the difference, and I was like, I'm not even going to, because I was like, maybe I could do a little, because so I practice what I preach. I don't use any conditioner because I see right away, I see the swelling, the ends, and I'm like, oh no. So I just use the wash, and then I go in, and this is formulated for stimulating and nourishing. So you know, I fill it in, and then I'll do either braids or I roll it up, let it dry, wear that as a style, and it really keeps things together for the whole summer. Bunching is different from budding, yes. Um, and there's a lot of this terminology comes out of the sister lock community. So there may be varying definitions now, but we all kind of can assume what bunching is when you have the part of the lock where the pattern has bunched up. Because ideally the pattern is pulled taut through the hair, and then the hair pretty much in an even and consistent fashion. But sometimes the pattern can loosen and slide up or down and leave spaces but that are fat and skinny. So that usually is what bunching is. And then budding, so as the locks are locking and the pattern that we placed in, um, there can be things formed at the ends, like the little balls. But your hair is locking, and a lot of that's normal. So what's normal versus what's not. Bunching is typical. Bunching can be seen as normal, but it's not something that should be excessive, and it's not something that we leave. We can leave when your locks are budding. We can leave and allow it to lock. Does that make sense? Now there's things that might come off or fall off. Oh yeah, get the book and let me know how you like it. So we're finalizing the book tour. We will be in oh Lord, we'll be in LA. Come entertain in San Diego as well, but definitely LA September, Atlanta in October, and we will be in, as and I'm missing another city, Texas, Houston, and that starts it out. But I'll be going around. This is like my first real book. I have an ebook, but this is the first real book, and we started it in Atlanta. I launched it at the World Natural Hair Show. So it's available now. It's not you know how people will launch it and do the book tour at the same time. I kind of spaced it out. And it's going to be fun because we're going to be doing a boot camp with this. So if you want to hit up the sites, you're going to be able to get a free boot camp. If you already bought the book, you can get it for free and get your free experience. If you have a copy and you want it signed, you can come to the location and get it signed. I'll make the big announcement. We got a lot of big announcements coming. This is all the basis of our Microloc Mastery Training and Certification Program. Again, out of the original Microloc certification I started in Brooklyn, New York, out of my home base business. Though Tony, who's commenting on the Facebook group, is one of the first students of that class, 2010, I believe. Tony, Brooklyn, New York, and I use those standards consistently. So we've been able to see for over 16 years, almost 16 years, the what long term effects look like with best practices, proven standards, how to prevent and address issues. So it's a lot of that's in the book. Um, and so it's accompanied to the course though. So if you're in the course, we'll go way in. You're actually learning the technique. Yes, California. I love California. I'm gonna go back. I might partner. I'm looking. Oh no, out there is very much connected. Sister Locks is big out there, and we have a lot of sister locticians in our program. Y'all just know when I sat on a panel with Joanne, that wasn't necessarily the nicest treatment, but I know that there are people who, for that follow even Microloc Mastery that may be a part of the program who are sister locticians out there, and so I welcome and embrace, and we want to come together to support great quality small size locks. So I love California for that energy. I don't like that other energy, but again, I understand it. Because when you have something that is viable and correcting and giving strong foundations, sometimes that can, I think enough people saw that clip, you know, where she had to tell me I was bootleg. You just bought it. Thank you so much. Amazon doesn't tell me at all when and where you coming to LA. What's the Frizz Fest? I'm planning to be in LA around September 1st. We just have to lock down. My location is in Gardena. I have a salon that I work with there, and so I like going out there. Thank you. Sometimes my energy, I feel like it's off. Thank you so much. I appreciate. I just like sharing information. If y'all know, some of y'all may not know me, and it's okay because I disappeared for a long time. But I was one of the first people talking about Microlocs on YouTube many years ago, and I got a lot of heat, and I used to stop just because I was like, and recently over the past 3 years I've been speaking out more and more about my contribution, to coining and creating microlocks and these standards, because I consistently see how helpful it has been for people, and I never wavered on these standards. I never went back and forth. I don't jump on a popularity bandwagon. I'm just not. I never was like that. I'm always just about speaking what I think is helpful and beneficial, not to be popular, but to give people benefit. Like, I like to see people appreciating what they have, the information, and walking up with what they really want versus what is popular in the moment. Because some things we've been cleaning up, a lot of, not just me but other locticians. Some people even thank me privately for speaking up and just continuing to stand by these quality standards, because if, like I said, if what I say aligns with you and your goals, then I want to, support that. If it's not, it's okay. um, you know so that's how to say that. So I appreciate that. Um, and let me go. I just like to check. You're into, okay, yeah. Instagram, y'all not saying nothing, so I think I'm gonna hop on off and make. I like those who interact on Instagram, but I feel like I have to like not stream from StreamYard because it's more personal. Like if I go live tonight, then we have much more like personal conversation. Right now, I wanted to include y'all who are not in the group or on YouTube into the conversation. So I'm checking if you have any comments. But sometimes it will disconnect after an hour. I don't purposely do it, but sometimes if I see no engagement, I will end it here and then tell y'all to meet me over, because I'm going in between a lot of screens to just make sure I get all your questions. Are you in LA, son? There could be a bit mean here. Freeze Fest in St. Louis. Oh, that's St. Louis. Oh, you should definitely be there. Yes, Freeze. I never heard of Freeze Fest. St. Louis, Missouri. Can you send? I'll look it up. But if you want to message, how do you message me? Right in my page description, I think I have my email or the website, and you can contact me, and we can speak um, offline. Would love to get more information about that. So Cindy, yeah. Oh, Tony's over a decade. Yes. Um, Cindy says, I'm currently working on making my natural hair healthier before I lock my hair perfect. My coily hair has different lengths and throughout. Any suggestions for getting your hair ready? Make sure your hair is as healthy as possible. Your locks are not a magic wand. They are going to pull off the strength of your natural hair. They're going to be this density. They're going to be everything that your hair is naturally giving. If there's breakage in your hair strands, your locks will have weak spots that might break. So you want to make sure that you strengthen it. If you need to get treatments done, if you need to get trimming done, whatever you need to do to strengthen your natural hair before you start to lock it would be the best thing. And there's other things that you can um, Oh, thank you. That you can do the prep like immediately before to prep your hair for locking. So remember, you're going into a lock realm, so you are crossing over into another territory. So there's things that you might have to revise about your thinking. You might have to approach differently, or you might have to throw away altogether. Um, they will not necessarily be the same in this realm. You can absolutely have healthy hair without needing to do a lot of the things you needed to do when it was loose, and to keep it in the locking pattern and lock strongly and stay with you no matter what. Thank you, Rasta Rashid. Best thing you can do, people. Ooh, thank you so much. I had another little slide. If you're not already, oh, we got a lot of announcements. I'm not gonna do it all here because it's gonna be a whole information overload. But I didn't even tell the team. Did I even tell y'all? Oh man. Oh my god, I'm screaming in my spirit. We got some things coming down the pipe. I'm gonna announce it this week. But I would say that stay connected to any of these platforms. If you're on the email list, you're going to get a lot of information first. If you're in a Facebook group as well, you can join a Facebook group at the link freemicroloctraining.com. Thank you, son. You want to take your course and hope to be here when you come. I started in Brooklyn, so I'll be in Brooklyn to do the book signing twice, and then there's International Ella Braids Day happening on the 27th with Oh My Heavenly Hair, Deborah Hair Bay Salon. She and I partnered, and then the Spot Brooklyn, we partnered for the book signing as well. So we're gonna be. Brooklyn is home. Brooklyn is why I started Naturally Beautiful Hair Care. Brooklyn is why I started all of this. So I will be there. We gotta connect. Oh, yeah. So I thought you said St. Louis too. But yes, definitely stay connected. Um, yep, to Penny is correct. A good trim can help to prep your hair. People sometimes have come in. Well, it's up to the professional actually to look and then make that assessment for the person. So sometimes people don't know, but the professional should be skilled to know how your hair should be prepped for the service you're requiring. So if you feel like that's different lanes, it's all over, and they're not talking about how to prep your hair, either have that conversation or find someone who's more skilled in hair care first, and then the combination of hair care knowledge with this niche lock knowledge, because it will be altered. It is a sometimes like a coming together compromise. It's not all just whatever you know from cosmetology school, but it's also how does it apply to this realm. Um, a trim before, but after it's locked doesn't necessarily mean you need to get your hair trimmed. Like, and then someone may argue that, but that's not necessary. Like, they're very still closed in the cosmetology realm when you're dealing with over a decade and a half of working with hundreds of clients, and understanding the locking process. You're talking about the structure of the lock and how your hair is now evolving within the lock versus how it's evolving outside the lock. The needs are different, and the little lock versus the big lock. Mm. Okay, so you can Instagram at microloc.master. Did I cut y'all off yet? Hey, it says where on YouTube? Um, it's still going on Instagram, so you can stay here. But I would say the link in the story is connection to YouTube. But you can also join the Facebook group, which is on the screen. You can so the YouTube. I mean the YouTube is Jessica NBHC Microloc Mastery. We also have a Microloc Mastery YouTube page. Facebook Microloc Mastery. TikTok. I'm crazy. I have 3 TikTok pages. I don't know what is. I always do stuff weird. Like I don't understand, and I make too many things. But there's Naturally Beautiful Hair is probably the main TikTok page, and then there's Microlocs and Microloc Mastery as well on TikTok. You can join any of them, none of them. Um, but either way, the YouTube and the Facebook group are the good ones to join. Okay, and just double check as we wrap it up. You made it, Poochie. Always blessed. I'm glad you made it. So again, microlocsstandards.com or amazon.com. If you want to just purchase it, the book direct from me, you will get a signed copy. And that is the Microloc Standards. You will get a signed copy. If you do it on Amazon, it's not signed. But if you buy it on Amazon and go to a book tour with the book, you can get it signed and you can get in and get the boot camp experience for free because you purchased the book. So when it comes to a city near you, I'd love to meet you and get your feedback and get this like laser training. I think my computer might not make it. So if you have any final questions, I try to attend professional workshop. First Fest is just one of them. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll definitely keep that on the radar. And then I see Tony sent the frizzybynature.com 921. Thank you. You know what? That time frame doesn't align then. I think that would be a good time frame because in the beginning of September will be LA. Cindy says it's fragile. It's fragile at the same time. So thank you. I'm working on it. You were talking in regards to prepping your hair. Yeah, just getting it strong. It's gonna strengthen itself. There's so many things these products do that we don't even realize that our hair and our scalp, depending on like if we continue to coat our scalp with petroleums or things that disrupt what I call the moisture. I made a moisture retention terminology. I don't know. I was basically saying in response to how the environment is, our skin is a huge organ that will respond. It will either make more oil if it's colder because it's very intelligent. It's an organ designed to respond to the environment. Your hair and your skin on your head is not different. It just has follicles for hair to grow out of it, but we also have follicles all over our body. It's just more dense here. It's still going to respond and give, secrete oils to keep the hair from breaking off. So, because this is where most of the hair is, but it also is responding to the environment. So I say that to say it has an intelligence already built in. It becomes handicapped when we are, especially loose naturals, like myself. Before I locked my hair, had cabinets full of everything. It was just like I was not letting. I was like, my hair's 4C. I was like, nope, it can't be dry. It needs something on it every moment, which probably was true because it needed to be coated. But when it crossed over to the lock round, I had to treat those strands differently, and I had to treat my scalp differently. My scalp also was being it had a detox, like a withdrawal. It went through like a withdrawal where it felt. Some people say, "Oh my goodness, my scalp feels so dry now." It's like people are bugging out, and then something magic happens with 99% of people that their excessive dandruff and all the issues that they used to deal with start to subside and almost become not a problem. I used to have such bad it's gross, but I used to just be scratching. You know how some people like to scratch dandruff? They sit there and they just scratching and it's disgusting. But I had like a nasty fetish because I was like, oh, look, all this dandruff. I always thought that I had a lot of dandruff. When I locked my hair, I barely see dandruff and I don't use barely any product. Again, the hair oil sometimes, but most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I have nothing on my hair. It's just water set and taken out. And so why don't I have dandruff then? If it the logic says that you have to put stuff on it because your scalp is just dry. No, I was secreting just enough to keep it to allow my skin to do what it needed to do in response to the environment. But sometimes you do need to help it along if it's very drastically changing. But it never was the same severity as it was before I locked my hair. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that. Y'all, I'm gonna plug in my. I don't want to keep talking. Bear with me, y'all. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this off the screen. Oh, I can't wait for you to start reading either. Oh my God. We could take our time, baby. All right. This has been very informative. How much is it? How much is the oil, the class? So, one of the 25,000 announcements is that the webinar, um, the free webinar, is going to be available. And then there's an offer that's reduced. I always tell people, like, you get a bunch of information about the program, about tips you can use, whether or not you sign up. And it's a nice little discounted um, incentive for you. But then you could always enroll at Microloc Mastery without taking a webinar as well. And so the price is going to vary depending on what you do, but it's lifetime access. Like all your supplies, you have our tool, our patent pending tool. Now we gotta make sure that we've seen it floating around now, but you can only get it in the program as a student, or if you're a part of the some of our other courses. And then I could tell you know what you're talking about. Thank you. And then you also get so you have multiple online databases. You have coaching. We do consistent group coaching calls. So we have how many coaches now? Six. One, two, three, four, five. Technically six, but we have an admin. So we have a team of people here to help you, including myself. And then so you get all of that bundled in. We don't just like it's not a money grab. It's a I want to give you what you need, and we'll stay with you as long as you want us to stay with you. Lifetime access, 24/7. Um, so people just get on YouTube. So people just get on YouTube just talking. Yeah. So people I do too. I talk. I try to give information when I talk. The book, the course. The book um is on 49, and with shipping it's like $10 shipping. But if you get the course incentive, the book I believe is one of the incentives if you go to the webinar. If you buy the book and you go to a book tour, you get the in-person boot camp, which I'm going to announce. You can do that for free. So $49 on Amazon, $49 by us. If you go to the Microlocs Standard, and I sign it for you. And again, the course is different prices. So retightening is one price. I don't. The reason why I'm not because the price goes up and down depending on what you're watching. So if you're getting in on a webinar or you're getting in through a boot camp, you're going to have a discount. I would tell you if you're interested in any of those, join it because we give you incentive. If you're coming in off just the site, you might have a different price. Does that make sense? So it's about retightening. We have DIY coaching, which is about $8.99. And then the full price, no discounts, $24.99. But with discount, we take like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds off. So we are accompanying along with the course even after. Yes, Penny is someone you need to check in France. She's someone that knows her stuff, and so she completed the course, and so she's still part of it. We have people that completed the course years ago. We have people that did not complete it, and they can jump right back in. They have access to two platforms, and we have a Microloc directory, worldwide Microloc directory. It gives you a full page listing. Wherever you are in the world, you can just get on there. Google will tell you what's nearby, who's nearby you. Not everybody that's going through the program is on there, but that's something we give to people who want it. It's not the same setup like you have to find them on there, but we do have a database of people who've been certified that may not be listed on there, so you can check with someone who's active and current and who's met these standards that our team has reviewed. So we want to make sure that you are in good hands. So my vision had always been, I knew that the industry is what it is. I know people see stuff, they create stuff, they do a pop-up training, everybody knows how to do this and that, and they'll tell you anything. I want it to be a beacon of solid information that has receipts that you can go back and see that you can see that makes sense to you. You can what resonates with you about this information for this level of quality, and be that beacon of whole network of people who align with that. And that was my vision, so that it wouldn't be so hard to find someone if you're looking for someone with a certain level of quality, standard, integrity, professionalism, training, that find you could find them. Wow, sounds good. Yeah. All right. How long have I been on? Yep, I believe Instagram has knocked. Oh, it's still on. Oh wow, it still got you on here. You guys on here. But y'all, how many y'all on here? I'm gonna say goodbye to Instagram. Come on over, okay? It was so nice chatting with y'all. But you don't have many questions, and it's kind of making me dizzy to go back and forth. I might pop up live later. All right, y'all. Bye. And then everyone else, any final questions? So I don't have to go back and like back and forth between screens. Um, is it necessary to trim microlocs? It's not necessary. Mm-mm. Rasta Rashid on Facebook group is not. Now here's what could happen. Not to everybody, because I've trimmed mine. Certain hair texture, yeah, is just disconnected from Instagram. Certain hair textures in certain time frames, if you trim, will notice a unraveling that happens at the where you trimmed it. And what could and sometimes happens, it starts to unravel and it becomes like a bulbous, a fat end. Sometimes, not all the time. Especially if it's not trimmed correctly, or if it's trimmed too soon, or the hair texture, the pattern is it's not fully locked, whatever the case is. I don't know. Even some people who are fully locked, that could still happen to them because of their hair texture, because of the tension of the lock itself. And so that's why it's not something that needs to be done after. If someone's hair needs to be trimmed, they should get it trimmed before. If it's after and the hair is already locked, it's not a necessity. It is something, if you need to do it or you desire to do it, you can with the proper, but it should be done with proper knowledge, skill. It's not something that has that same. It's not, and it can cause problems. So the way I approach trimming for myself is if I just want to even out my hair, if I'm noticing, um, so my ends are pretty together now, but sometimes, especially if you're using conditioner or you're doing something where it's loosening up, you'll notice that it might break a little bit more. It might have those spaces that happen. Sometimes people notice that, and then they cut it to make it healthier. So your maintenance routine, your hair texture, your products, all your tool, everything could be a contributing factor to what you need to have done. It's not a set. You have to do it. You have to do this. And if anybody ever tells you that, um, I would. I don't want to say run, but I would just question it a little bit more, because there's a whole combination of comprehensive knowledge that you need to have. Somebody could be using a different tool, using a different technique, using so I talk about tool types and how they impact tension. They can have different hair, different sizing, different maintenance routine, and their requirements are going to be different. They could have started their locks in a different way, this is why I don't recommend certain ways, because if someone started their hair in a way that has a very loose pattern and you going in there and cutting it, um, you definitely could probably see more potential of it unraveling, or of it doing something funky or weird, or you're interlocking the root and now it's not consistent with the end, or they got three things going on, because I'm seeing all types of things with twist and braid and interval. So you got three things going on. So it's way inconsistent with different patterns of hair, with different things going on, with color, with texturizing, and then it just becomes all different. So you can't say for certain anything anymore without understanding a full picture and having a full knowledge base, if that makes sense. Are there any classes in South Florida face um face fuchsia flower shape? Um so we are online based, and we have our graduates have an opportunity to be site trainers. Unless I'm doing a boot camp, we which is not the same as the full certification class. We're not in that area. Something I'm not gonna. I always bite my tongue. I just want y'all to know what Microloc Mastery is. The logo you see it here, because there's some things that might be confusing right now, but that we are addressing that might be in your area. That's not us. So, but we will be having more classes in person, especially as people certify through our program. Our certified professionals actually get paid to become site trainers. They get the full training, they get a grant, and then they open up a location, and then they get 50% commission, which is thousands of dollars per student. Like, we make this profitable. We want people to win, we want people to succeed, but they have to go through our training so that they can teach you what we are teaching. So, um, that takes a little bit of a process. So yeah, we're not currently, but again, if somebody joins our program from South Florida and they're like, I want to train, and they kill it through their certification, and then they go into the program and they do what they're supposed to do, you can literally join and become that. And so you're basically getting your investment back tenfold, and you can use your instruction skills, your skills to collaboratively grow your business and help become a location for us, because that's where the vision is, as opposed to, and it's a lot. We want to make sure that we support people. Someone in here is near your window, I think. Oh my God. It's my cat. You scared me. Look what Butterfly said. Y'all, I forgot my cat was outside. I thought she was sitting right here because I have a black bag. So she sits by the window. um, I'll let her. That's my cat. And maybe I'll let her in. Boy, y'all. Hold on. It's so awkward when I lift it. It's just Sheba. Come in. Come in. That's my cat. Okay, no worries. It's my cat. um, I'm I'm a Frankenstein head, but there's a difference. Where's the Frankenstein head? Oh my goodness, you scared me though, because I was like, "Who's out my window?" Because my cat is right here, but she's rude and she doesn't care. All right, y'all. So, with that being said, hopefully you found this to be a little helpful if you may already be doing these things, and I appreciate your input. If you have any feedback or any questions or suggestions on things that you might do, feel free to add them. If you're watching a replay, say replay, um, and you can comment. Oh yeah, I said that one already. You can comment, and if you have any questions, and we'll answer it. But just to recap, remember that maintenance, routine, and styling are some key things. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to think about when it comes to summertime hair. A lot of people do protective styles. You can do protective things for your locks without, in a different way. I mean, there's some people that cover over their locks. That's not what I necessarily mean by protective. I just mean um, more of sealing in moisture, doing braid outs, things that don't need to be manipulated. I mean, I'm gonna share my screen because it's a little bit of that, a little of this, a little of that lock twist. Let her in on how adorable. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so we got maintenance. Remember the hair oil, which you can find at Naturally Beautiful. Somebody commented, I was asking if you could put the link, but I think I could share it here. at the bottom. She's too slow right now. All right, she's too slow. So I'm gonna share it. Naturallybeautifulhaircare.com. Hold on, y'all. There's so much going on. What? All right. You're welcome, y'all. My computer is, yeah, she's tired and I think she's hot. I'm hot too. I'm starting to sweat. Um, for an bon week. Good night, everyone. Are you in France? Oh, you said Brooklyn. I'm so confused. You said St. Louis, Brooklyn, and I'm thinking you're in France. Bon week, son. Oh, yeah, to Penny. You're welcome, y'all. Okay. Bon week. Guys, I finally have my hair out. I had rollers in, y'all, since almost a week. So I've been feeling like the house cleaner because like I've been sweating and now I feel happy. So hopefully y'all try it out if you don't already do it, and keep them in for a long time and see how long these last. They can last up to 4 weeks, even with your humidity. Just wear your bonnet, okay? All right, y'all. Bye.